What's the point in owning a gaming monitor anymore? Said subscriber or viewer EE96. Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. It is evening time right now as I'm recording, and we are past the same time frame when I just created, rendered, and uploaded the content that is titled World's First 4K 240 Hertz Samsung Odyssey Monitor, right? Got the G8 Neo, great product. It's actually behind me. Set it up in a testing area, and so gauging the comments, I feel like the video has some nice traction. I appreciate that, man. Anytime you guys are watching, commenting, it inspires me to create more content and more discussional based content. And I've gotten a few comments that I was just seeing some conversation actually within that video, and it led me down this rabbit hole of just thinking to myself, like, man, you know, I know a lot of people probably are not that familiar with like gaming monitors. As I said in that video, and if you know me, you know I've always been into getting monitors. I'm into performance. I used to play fighting games at a competitive level, dating back to arcade times. I have an arcade cabinet to the right of me. And so, you know, things like input latency, really important to me historically. And so I've always been sensitive to that and also conscious of that when making my purchases with monitors. You know, there did exist a time when I did not purchase, flagship televisions. There was a time when TKK wasn't buying, you know, 2-3 TVs a year. I mean, this year, 7 TVs, ridiculous. But I don't always buy TVs like I did this year. But the one thing that I always liked to keep in mind was that if I played my style of fighting games, or my style of games, which is fighting games, I wanted them to perform well. So when the question is asked, what's the point of a gaming monitor today? Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and this is not to be taken with any malice. Gaming monitors are to TVs what gaming PCs are to consoles. They are literally the testing ground where you will see the most innovative stuff, and you will see the most bleeding next generation type of technology first. Now, I do understand that we don't have a wide variety of OLED monitors. You guys know I love OLEDs. I'm sitting in front of my beautiful Alpha 90K right now. No one manufactures these panels this small enough for us to have a 24-inch, a 27-inch, 32-inch. So LEDs are the way to go with monitors historically. Of course, there are some quantum dot options. Samsung Display has put something out for Alienware and a couple of other guys to use. But when you are using a gaming monitor, the expectations are that at the pinnacle level, you'll be playing something that's future-proof. What do I mean by future-proof? So if we just go back down memory lane for me personally, 4 or 5 years ago when I purchased the Asus 27-inch, this thing had a full G-Sync module. Monitors don't even come with that anymore, where, you know, your screen tearing technology starts at 1 hertz all the way up to the maximum. Full array local dimming out of a 27-inch, right? $2,000 for that monitor I spent. Ridiculous. But it was amazing. Loved it. Looked beautiful. It was everything I wanted at the time. However, I didn't have the hardware that can run it, because this monitor came out when 10 series were going out and 20 series was coming in. There was no hardware to really run 4K 144 hertz max, unless, you know, there was nothing. I mean, nothing at all, man. Maybe if you were playing some old stuff, but yeah, that's how it is. So even now with the G8, we have this, 4K 240 hertz. There's there's nothing on the market. The 3090 Ti I have, strongest cards you can get, strongest cards you can use today, cannot run games like God of War, Tomb Raider, Resident Evil, not max settings, 4K 240 hertz. But the technology is there, and it's future proof, and you have the variety, right? What do I mean by variety? I mean, hey, if you want to play a game that looks beautiful, let's say with the build that I have, you guys know, you're on the channel. If I want to play a Resident Evil and play it at maybe, let's just say 60 frames per second, 60 hertz. Perfect, right? Game like that, it's going to look good. Ray tracing, everything turned on. I'm looking at the grass blades moving individually. I'm looking at the pimples in the characters' faces. I mean, this is what I want to see when I'm playing a game like that, a game like God of War. Well, let's just say my son, he plays Destiny. I'll just use that as an example. He wants to get on Destiny. He wants to play competitively. Maybe Destiny can run, or any shooter game, right? If we be technical, any game, Call of Duty, Valorant, Siege. Okay, these games play 240 hertz. Dumb it down to 1080p. So what's important to him is getting the absolute best, the most, critical moments where he needs to react. You can get that. You cannot do that with the television. You're not going to have as wide a source for you to be able to control things the way that you may want to. On top of that, refresh rates they're not going to exist in the same capacity. And so, monitors are going to always be around because they're always going to be essentially the testing ground for that type of technology to go out. I hope that someday we get to where we see officially supported 144 hertz out of a television. People are ecstatic about the Quantum Dot S95B. I do have that 55 class. Great TV. Love it. Check out my content on it. But people are ecstatic that you can overclock that TV to be 144 hertz. Guys, I just told you I had an Asus 4 or 5 years ago, that had the ability to do 4K at 144 hertz. Wasn't possible for consoles, wasn't possible in TVs. Wasn't until 2019 until we got 4K at 120 hertz, guys. This is next level stuff. You don't have to understand it, and that's totally fine. But if you want to get educated, that's why we have these conversations. That's why we have this dialogue. That's why you get in the comments section so we can talk about more of this stuff. So let me know what you guys think. I'm loving that monitor so far. I've got a lot of content to shoot on it. But before I went any forward with my channel, like I said, it's shot in chronological order. I like everything to be like a piece so that it all goes to the puzzle together. I wanted to make sure I kind of put something out there to talk about what the differences were between TVs and monitors. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace, God bless, max love.